Oh, did we go live?
And well, we're back. It said my browser failed to play countdown. It
Oh,
who's with us? Are we here?
things are just weird this evening, basically. So,
They are.
um,
Hey Sam. I do see you and hear you now, Jess. Do you see and hear me? I mean, does it look like you're
yes,
frozen now?
you look good to me.
Okay. Hey Bridget. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get on, and we were doing good, and then we kind of had technical issues right before we were to go live. So we're a few minutes late, but thank y'all for joining us and waiting on us to get here. Yeah, y'all know what we say. It's not Alabama Skeleton Key if we don't have an issue.
It's true.
So
So,
welcome,
I would
welcome
have
to the
been much
show,
more
everyone
appreciative if our
tonight.
issues were not quite so big. Like, we don't need them that big. Just give us a technical issue, Jesus.
Right, right, right. So how is everyone doing tonight? Y'all chime in and
Yes,
tell us how you're doing. And while you're typing how you're doing, Jess is going to go ahead with our always uh,
I
warning.
am in 1 second. So, just maybe tell them how. Uh,
Well, for those who were watching and know, my mom is out of the
there
hospital.
we go.
So she got out yesterday under angry circumstances. She says they tried to kill her, and that, of course, she'll never go to Grandview again. And they actually checked my mother out of the hospital with her breakfast in a to-go box. If that tells you. So she went home yesterday, um, and this week I'm in level 3 witchcraft class at Books, Beans, and Candles and more in Birmingham, Alabama. Mr. Mitchell Haggard is my teacher, and I'm learning the Magic City tradition witchcraft is what they teach. So we found out because our class kicks ass and we rock so good. Here we go with the chime. My clock is way slow tonight. Pardon it. Bridget's bunny sitting.
Oh, I love, excuse me, I
Bunnies
love
are they, but
bunnies.
I love bunnies.
My favorite thing
I
is
love
watching a
bunnies too.
bunny or a guinea pig do the binky, get the binkies. They do the little popcorning and hop.
Right.
It's just, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, as I was saying before my clock so rudely interrupted us to 8 minutes late. um, and or we rock so well that we get to graduate like 6 weeks early. So our graduation was bumped up, and we're graduating Tuesday night at 6 o'clock. So, yay us, we rock
Because
that
they're
shit. So,
badass.
yes, congratulations to all my witch class. I call them my witch mates, because we have girls and boys, and so witch sisters, witch brothers. But to all my witch mates, congratulations, y'all. We rocked it, and the four of us that are in this class, have been together. Well, three of us. No, wait a minute. Yeah, there's four of us that have been together since the very beginning. And then another one hopped in, but she's, of course, gone that far. She just had to come back to level 3 at a later date. So we have all kicked ass. Mary, meet Drew. Thank you for being here. Y'all, I have got a dog whining. I need to go and get it where it needs to be, or it's going to drive me crazy. So I'll quit
I'll
running
go
my
ahead
mouth
with
now
our
for a minute.
disclaimer.
Yeah, you go ahead with our disclaimer and let me go get rid of this dog.
All right. First off, this show is not intended for children. There will probably be swearing. This is the Thursday night show, so we do try to keep it dialed back a bit, but there will be swearing. This is not a kids show, so if that is something that you do not wish for your children to be exposed to, headphones or have them go on out of the room. So just content that could be inappropriate for them. Number two, we have eternally curious minds, and we love to question everything. At no point do we believe our opinions, religions, beliefs, any of that are better or more correct than yours. They're simply our opinions. If you do not agree, that is 100% okay. We simply ask that you be an adult about it and just scroll on if this is not the show for you. It's no big deal. We're not going to attempt to argue with you or make you see our point or agree with us. We simply want to take everything apart a little bit, understand the world better, the universe, ourselves. Anita does the popcorn. That's cute. So yeah, how is everybody doing? I am. It's been a rough day. It is my grandmother, my dad's mom. It is her 79th birthday today. So we went over and celebrated that. We did get there was some bad news, but overall it was a fun day. So you know we just
Okay.
finished the disclaimer
Well,
and
now
going
I've
over
got one
mine.
out here barking. Hold on.
All right. So yeah, that was it. We had she's my children's great grandmother, so we had several generations all in one house, and got to see my brothers and my niece, and nice. So yes, happy birthday, Grams, absolutely. We enjoyed it. We took her. She doesn't ask for much, but she loves word searches and stuff like that. So we took her a bag of them. She was so excited. Is your pack under
I
control?
will have to step away here in a minute because. No, I will have to step away here in a minute because the freaking Rottweiler ran out the door and now he's back barking again. I'm going to go kill him.
Oh yeah, not bad. I was just telling them my grandma had her birthday today. She's 79.
Happy 79 birthday, Grandma.
But we
Rocking
absolutely
it 79
my
trips around the
dad,
sun.
right?
Let
My
me go
dad
get this
trolled.
barking Rottweiler.
Go ahead. Oh, my dad trolled her though, and she had no idea we were doing cake or anything, so it was a big surprise. And we get the cake and we sit it in front of her, and he swapped the numbers so her cake says 97 instead of 79. And it took her a minute. She didn't notice it at first, and I was recording. Obviously, I was in on the joke. I was recording, and I said, "Nanny, so how old are you?" She said 79, and I said, "Not 97." She said, "No." My dad said, What's your cake say?" And she was so mad at him because she looked right at him. She knew it was him. Oh, she's an absolute mess. But it was fun. It was fun. How about this cold weather Alabama's having? I think it's what 21 outside right now. It's 30 here. Feels like 27. Oh, I use the WT forecast app. What the forecast? And it says you are so effed tonight. So you know, there's our fortune telling for the night. It
Okay.
is my
What's our foretelling
absolute
for tonight?
favorites. Well, I was saying, it's 30 degrees here in Alabama, and I looked over at my thing to double check the temperature, and I use what the forecast, WT forecast, and so it gives you really crude weather
Right.
report. I look over and I say what it is, and
Yeah.
all it
Yeah.
says is you are so effed tonight, and I was like, well, there is our fortune telling for the evening. We're done.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we'll have
Well,
to
I
do the night.
apologize,
We'll have
y'all,
to
for
do the
all the
nightly
background noise and
forecast
everything.
every time, like Jesse said.
Yes, yes. So I apologize, y'all, for all the background noise, and it's always going to be something with us, right? So,
Absolutely.
um, we're gonna. I guess Jess has done all of our waivers and all that stuff, so we're gonna kind
Yes.
of flip back to where we were last week, and I want to add a couple of things that I wanted to touch back on about myths and stuff that we kind of talked, but I don't think I can finish my thought. And so I want to do that. Let me pull up my notes here. And then we're going to go on and talk about some
Girl, you
tools
done
and
them on your
stuff.
iPad. I'm over here with a spiral notebook.
Well, I got fancy because I got an iPad for Christmas.
I gotta figure out where I put it because that's
So,
got my
when I'm
notes.
laying in bed at night, when I'm laying in bed at night, it's easy to grab it and type it in when something hits me. Um, so I guess one thing we did talk about, that it was a myth about witches wearing black, but why do they wear black? When we do wear black, why do we wear black? Does anybody? This is a pop quiz for our listeners tonight. Do y'all know? Do y'all know why a witch does wear black when she or he or they or them do? Yes, hey Nito, he's in there somewhere. I think they're still trying to do midnight or 10 o'clock munchies. Not because it's slimming, Jesse.
So, that might be
Although
part of it
that's a
too.
bonus. But yeah, and that's just a bonus for the cause. So, anyone else want to chime in there while I'll give it just a couple more
Oh, and you know
seconds
what?
here.
And while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and say I have a banner running down below to let you know if any of you are practitioners of any sort of witchcraft or, relative thing. If you want to shoot us a Facebook message with some pictures of the tools that you use or your altar, if you feel comfortable, we'd love to have them and put them up for everybody to see and kind of see all the differences between our stuff, the different preferences we have with tools and stuff.
Okay, so no, actually, the real reason, well, the beginning, back in our old, way, way, way back when, excuse me, all when witches snuck off into the woods with their black cloaks and things like that. It was really so people didn't see them. They didn't know who they were because they would kill them, obviously, if they knew who they were. So when witches would get together and do rituals and do things, they would wear black in order to sneak off in the darkness and not be discovered and killed by people who killed witches. We'll just put it at that. And then as time evolved and things went on, it became more about, we got in colors and all that. So it became about repelling negativity when you're doing, your witchcraft, your workings, your spells, your prayers, whatever you want to call them. It banishes the negativity and keeps it away from what you're working. So that's, kind of our myth breaker about, witches don't always wear black, and when they do, it's for a purpose, and sometimes just because it's slimming and they want to wear black, and has nothing to do with witchcraft. So, and then, Jess, did you have any topics from last week you wanted to touch back on?
Hmm. See, here's the problem. I let my son borrow my spiral notebook to do a math problem, and the page that I had it written on has mysteriously vanished. So I have no clue. I
Well,
know
I've
that there
got a
was at
couple more
least
things
another
here,
thing.
so
Please go ahead.
okay, so my other thing is, when we talked about, it being a nature based, you know, religion. Now, I won't say that, for my practice, this is for my practice, and I think, Jess is kind of this way too. What we do with nature is we honor it and protect it. Yeah, in fact, my paranormal team, Southern Paranormal Inspection Research Investigation Team, aka Spirit, that's something we were going to put together this year. That around Earth Day that we're going to do something good for the planet, whether we get some trees and go plant them or clean up a park, or because it's very near and dear to all of us. So those are we we do things to respect nature. When and we're going to talk about tools, and so we'll get into that when we make some of our tools and plants, our tools, and we do ask permission. We thank that plant, and we care for that plant. We love that plant, for providing for us.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I think the nature based comes in, and I think for many of us, it is that way. Um, Also, the devil and worshiping the devil. In my practice, if so, and we're not talking about the red man with horns lives in the center of the earth with fire, hell, and brimstone.
Right.
In my practice, well, number one, I'll just say I'm the devil. If y'all believe in all that shit with being marked with the beast and all that, then you're looking at her right here live on camera, because my birthday is 666. So I have been marked with the beast my entire life. So I'm just gonna put that out there, y'all. So, but
I'm good with it.
in my practice, if I work with other witches, if I'm working by myself, I'm kind of the whole ritual as myself. But if I'm working with other witches and we're in circle, we're doing our work, then there's someone in the center of that circle that all the energy is focused on. It's all poured into it. And that person is kind of the leader of the pack for that night. They don't have to be a high priestess or a high priest or nothing like that. It's whoever the devil is in that ritual. The devil is someone that starts it and finishes it. In my practice, like I said, now there's out there, but that's what we do or what I do. So just we were wanting to kill some of these myths and misconceptions that are out there. Thank you, Jonicia. You too. Always wonderful to have you on, even if it's just for a second. Thanks for popping in. We love you too, sister. Um, Irene is saying she couldn't click on the link. I'm not sure. Are you talking about our live link, Irene?
Yeah, I'm working on doing some sharing
So
right
yeah,
now. Well, since you had some more stuff, I figured I'd get the
um,
sharing done.
your your son, Irene. I'm sure. Yes, he probably gets a lot of that crap too. About being born on Friday the 13th. So it used to get to me when I was a kid, but now as I've gotten older, I've embraced it. And when I go to the store buy my husband's cigarette stuff, they some of these places now are required ID, even if you are 155 years old, like I am. So I always hand it to them, and they always give me that, and I'm like, yes, I am the devil. And sometimes I used to have devil horns that I would wear, and I lost one of my horns, but I have been known to do this number to the old battle axes. Oops, I'm click buttons here. Hang on, let me set this down. When they'll look at me and give me the ladies at the post office, have done this to me um many times. When you have to go pick up your mail and stuff, and they have to show ID to prove you are who you say you are, and I'll be like, oh my god, are my horns showing? I thought I patted them suckers down today. So I've learned to play with it as I've gotten older. So um I think that was really there was the other thing that I was going to touch on, kind of leads us into tools. So the word witchcraft, what does that mean to people? What, witchcraft? That, that's a big wide open door, isn't it? But it basically boils down to we are witches as a way of life. When we do our prayer or meditation or grounding or cleansing homes as paranormal investigators, we do witchcraft. If you look at craft, as any other craft. Someone, we have kitchen witches that are, you may not look at it as them doing, your old grandma who was standing in the kitchen just pouring her love, and she always says that, pouring her love and heart into that Christmas dinner for y'all. That was witchcraft, and if you'll pay attention, if somebody's ever really angry and they've cooked for you, probably not a good idea to eat it, because you might find that you'll kind of get in an angry kind of mood too. So it's things, people put things into things and they don't realize the power of what they do. So, it's just like, think about back in the old days. Let's think about, Betsy Ross and all of them sat around. What were they doing? They were sitting around in a fucking circle sewing. They were in a circle. They were creating power, and they were crafting, which is exactly what witches do. It's exactly what witches do. So it's just about, what are they crafting? So, and then that's going to lead us into tools, Jess. So I know you probably have
This
your
one deserves
notes on tools
attention,
while I
though.
read Irene's
Oh, I will say I do agree with Jesse. Witchcraft does mean folding a fitted sheet, though. So I did watch a TikTok and figured out how to do
oh,
it. It just takes too much time, and I'm not doing it.
and y'all, there's
I just,
Blueberry again is in here making all this noise. So if you hear banging and thumping and crinkling, and it's Blueberry.
well, what? Okay, so we start off. I mean, what it, what exactly is considered a witch's tool? You can look and you can find dozens upon dozens of lists of what a witch's tools are, or what a Wiccan's tools are, or what a pagan's tools are. And honestly, I was sitting there and I was going through this list and I was making little notes to talk about each thing. And I got to thinking about it. This list doesn't matter at all. Your tools are what you decide to work with. Honestly,
Exactly.
like I have notes that I'll
You're
discuss on
right.
some of it, but there's no
Well,
list
I
on there
mean,
that tells you to
you're
have a selenite charging plate on your altar, but I do.
right. Well, I mean, I have my little. I mean, this was gifted to me from one of our team members, and it's kind of, it. I don't think it was meant to be the tree of life, but it's one of those ragu pottery things, and it's beautiful. It looks like the tree of life, and so I feel it has that energy, and so I use
Yeah,
it
that's
for
pretty.
that grounding, and I set my tea on it. When I'm here with y'all, and my beautiful witch coffee cup that my beautiful daughter Jessie Wilson gave me, and got to plug the right down here. Got to be the
I don't know,
commercial.
and I don't know if she was in here when I was using my cup that she got me the other night,
I
the
don't
moon
think
and
she was,
star.
but yeah,
I love it so much.
right. I don't know.
And my mom got me a coffee cup
So,
that looks like a
um,
cauldron and says "Witch's Brew." I
so yeah, your tools can be any damn thing you want them to be. But you know you got your traditional wands.
right.
um do you have to go
Athame.
out and spend 35, 40, 200, 300 bucks on a wand? No, absolutely not. Let me show y'all. And because in our class in level 3, a lot of it has been about making your own tools with what you have, and not going out
Right,
and buying.
I'm gonna put you big on the screen just for a second while I have
Okay.
got to step in the hallway.
Okay. So my wand that I made is simply a stick that I collected from my yard. I got the bark off of it, of course, sanded it down. I wrapped it with a purple cord because I'm all about purple. And, can't ever tell by because of my lighting, but purple is me. And then I've got this little braided thing here. And of course, while I was braiding it, I was putting energy into it, putting intention into it. And I have all of my elements. I don't know if you can see, but my tiny little dragon is braided into there. And then, of course, I have feather. We'll just say, well, I'm not going to say what kind it is because in this state I'm not, but I will say I got it as a gift from a friend in another state. So I did not kill the animal. The animal was already dead. It was roadkill. They got it and they gave it to me. So, and then of course I have a crystal for earth right into it, and at the bottom I have a seashell that I collected from one of my favorite places in the world. It's not the prettiest seashell. Well, I can't say the world because I've not been everywhere in the world I'd like to be, but New Orleans. I love New Orleans, and I collected this off of a beach down here. So this was the my wand that I made. Um, so that's what I'm saying. You don't have to. Oh, we have a. Let me kick out this spammer here. Um, okay, somebody already got him. Jess must, yeah, she's there paying attention. So,
Yes.
um, anyway, you do not. Oh, cool. Jesse's got a surprise for me, and thanks, y'all. Now I've got to say, honestly, I did not put. Oh, we had another one in there, Jess. Did not put. Oh, I should have put more thought and more energy into it. But it's the thought that counts, right? But there are things that I wish that I would have done, and I can, since I didn't put any kind of finish on it, think I'm going to go back now that because my last project, remember we talked about last week, that I would reveal to y'all tonight. I'm going to do that still. Stuff to work on that. So I'm probably going to go back and do a little more work to this. I'm going to do some witchcrafting and put a little bit more energy into my wand. So that's my wand, and like I say, it's about what you have. You don't have to go spend
Yep,
loads of money
I will actually
on.
pop in here and say I haven't made mine yet. However, this is what it will be made of because this is from the black walnut tree that is in my front yard. And it was a branch that had already
Right.
fallen, and I did make an offering to the tree in return.
Ooh, a cow jaw.
That's
Ooh. And see,
exciting.
that's another thing, witches get excited about. Yeah, we
Bones.
get excited about bone stuff. And there was a time that I would have never touched that stuff. And here I am, now getting excited. So,
Right.
because there again, your tools become, what you have. And once you learn, you know, yeah, at one time I would think playing with skulls and all that was just gross and nasty. Now I know that I am taking something dead and I'm bringing new life to it, and I'm giving it a new purpose instead of it just becoming in the ground or whatever becomes of it. Dogs chew on or whatever. So, um, I guess with that said, I can reveal, you can talk about stangs and staffs, Jess, while I jump up and grab this, and I will turn on another light so we get a better view.
All right.
Um,
Well, actually, while you're getting it, I will actually just reiterate that, like she said, your tools just become what you work with. Like I said, I've got my selenite charging plate. She goes out under every full moon. I top her up with I rub a rune into her with moon water after I use her. But I also have a laminated, printed off sigil wheel so that I can use a dry
Hold on, I'm
erase
gonna have to.
marker and draw my sigils and then erase it when I'm done. I don't have to draw a new one every time because that's not happening.
Okay, so this is my stang. Remember last week I showed y'all the skull that I was working on. And I will bring a closer view, but y'all can see I've got, well, y'all probably can't see real well. So my stick started out from my old house, my pasture. This tree was one we cut down several years ago, so I knew this assignment was coming and kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do with it. So this stick came, from my old property that we just moved from last year. I did put an amethyst. There was a little, place in here that we just had to carve out just a little bit, and that amethyst fit perfectly. So, and then
Nice.
my seashell again from New Orleans, and I've got some sigils on that. And I've got turquoise and moonstone here. And then my skull, Jesse brought me, and I'm going to bring it down as much as I can. Um, she brought me the skull several years ago, and I knew I was gonna, so I painted it, and it's got some sigils. Let me remove my candle up here. So I don't know how well y'all could see, but so
You,
that's
you look you
that's
look like you were performing a very badass spell, and this is like a fabulous camera angle in a movie.
oh really? So this is those are
Badass.
actual sigils to perform the magic that this will send out um into the universe. So I have horsehair on it. um I had a horse, Chester. People that know me, he was my, I don't believe that animal or people are always your soulmate. Sometimes you meet sometimes an animal, and Chester did change my soul. There was, he changed me, and he's no longer here with us on the earth. But so that little braid there with the feather and the crystal um, is Chester's hair. And then one of my witch classmates made these little brooms for us and gave them to us
Cool.
in class. All four of us have one. It is Skaji, you know who that is, the tarot reader at Books, Beans, and Candles, and
Mhm.
he works there. He's in our class, and he made these for all of us. And so, of course, I got home and I attached it right to my staff because I thought it definitely belonged there. So, and then I've just got, other thing. I got some hematite up here for, grounding and, everything on here. Believe it or not, my husband said it looks like you took a bunch of shit from the house and threw it on there. But everything on here has a purpose. It will serve a purpose. And so, as staff are staying in my practice, this will be like a traveling altar. So I won't have to take all my crystals and all the stuff
I
that I
was
work
about to
with.
say it's no different than an altar. If you walk by an altar, it looks like you just grabbed a bunch of random shit and put it on there.
Right. So this is like your traveling altar if you're going to go out and work in circle,
Right.
with other witches and stuff. This is, your little thing you take with you to go work in circle. So, and then of course my candle um up here. So that is my staying. That very little money. I spent money on the um clear coat and the purple and silver spray paint. Basically, everything else I had. I did have to get some tools, but it wasn't nothing that we didn't already need. So I'm gonna put this back. I'll be back. So yeah, that was our. Thank you, Sam, for that for Chester. My Chester was my sweet boy.
Yep. You're right though.
So
Mine soulmate's an
we're
animal.
getting some hackers tonight. So on to, let's see what else I have on my tool list that we were going to talk about. Um, well, Jess, let's go ahead and let's have that flying on brooms discussion.
Okay. So this is one of
You
our
can put that to zero
misconceptions.
because I think I did drop it already tonight.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, I think I
Look at you. I
slipped.
just changed it to 14.
I think I slipped.
All right, so we all have heard about the broomstick. Supposedly it's, one of the witch's staple tools. We're known for flying on them and
let's do this a pop quiz too. Does anybody in the
Yes.
audience know why the term? Yes, I just think yeah, Jesse's right. I will say that my husband's blood is in my stang as well because he helped me and literally drilled through his hand. Literally
Mm.
drilled through his hand. So my husband's blood is in my stang, and I did a little sigil in honor, of him as well. So I mean, you use what you have, even if it's by accident. You use it.
I mean, what is your spouse but another tool?
Exactly. I mean, who loves me more than he does? You
And
know?
when you need to raise some quick dirty energy, they help.
Exactly.
Just saying.
So that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so
Who
the
loves
pop
me more
quiz
than he
is
does? He's going to
right.
support me either way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So the
the
pop
pop
quiz
quiz
is, does
tonight is
anybody
a
know
second pop
where the
quiz.
term, yeah, a second one. Does anybody know where the term flying on a broomstick came from? And while
Or why?
you are,
Who is Facebook user? Hello, hello. Tell us who you are because it just shows me Facebook user.
yeah, I don't know who it is either. That is old. Old I am. That is Irene Knuckles.
Oh,
I
come
don't know
on
why
in,
she is not
Irene.
showing up that way. I wonder why she's
Come
showing up
on.
as Facebook
She
user.
may
That's
not have
odd.
gave StreamYard permission. Welcome,
Maybe.
Miss Irene. So
Oh.
anyway, that no one chimed in on our second pop quiz. So,
Well, we'll give them a minute real quick, and we'll say that we've all heard many don't use a brand new broom to sweep a house, right? Supposed to sweep
hmm
something in from outside first. Uh, let's see what there's always jumping over the broomstick so you don't
hey,
get pregnant.
Robert. Right.
Um,
Is that the reason for the jumping over broomstick? I didn't
yes,
know that one.
yes, supposedly, yeah, if you jump backwards over
If
a
the broom balls
broomstick
company's
6 times
coming.
before dawn or some nonsense, like the old wives' tales usually are. The ones like that, anyways.
Right, right,
But it's
right,
used to, and we've seen in some popular, pop culture movies, media type stuff that you use broom to sweep out negativity.
right, right.
But
And
where?
in my practice, we do that too.
Hmm.
But that broom is actually is not ever supposed to touch the floor, really.
Oh yeah, no, these are two separate
Um,
things. Excuse me. A,
but
a
back in the
witch's
old
broom
days,
and
yeah,
even your even
right,
but even with your regular broom, there's the broom in general has so much mythology and folklore. Some of it weird. So
right, right. Like
so that
witches
brings
just put
us
nose to
back.
someone's feet or they won't get married.
Yeah, you're supposed to you have to tell them you'll dance at their wedding if you're going to sweep at their feet. If not, then you bring that bad luck of them never getting married.
No.
So,
Well, I don't think that's
lay a
true because I've
broom
swept
across
under
the
a lot of people's feet.
doorway. Yeah. Well, maybe the bad juju you gave them was getting married to some certain people.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
But that brings us back around to where did the where did the idea that we flew on a broomstick
She
came from?
counts all the bristles at night. I guess that would be like the ADD
I
or
have
the
heard
OCD,
that. Yeah, I have heard
which
that. It always kind of made me think of, supposedly if you see a certain type of fairy, you're supposed to spill rice and he can't and that will give you time to get away because he has to stop and count every grain. So I'm not
hmm.
sure if it's Irish, but I feel like it is that
Well, I will say
direction.
that one of that kind of takes us in a new direction. But I will say, one of our viewers tonight actually seen a fairy, like a living fairy, and I won't call that person out, but I do know that story. And not many people, and I do believe that some of the things that this person ignores now, in their life, possibly that was the awakening, or the reveal of something. But I was smart enough, to advise that person when I first learned about that.
Right. Hindsight
So,
is 2020.
um, right, right. So I mean, there
I mean, we
there are
both
just so
did
many
it. We
things
had
out
that
there that are
awakening really
unexplainable.
young, and then we had it squashed, so we just hid it and pretended it didn't happen.
Mhm, mhm. Well, I did. I really didn't just call them out. I said it was someone that was watching. It could have been anybody.
So,
Um,
Terry, do you have a broom, a witch's broom that you keep?
I do and don't. I mean, I have one that I think really honestly I came across in a yard sale because I had bought all these Halloween decorations from them, and it was like, oh, this is a perfect bassoon, perfect.
Mhm.
And the kids have played with it and stuff, but so for me, a lot of people like to use tools, and I'll tell y'all now the Stang was, really freaking cool making it and stuff. And like I said, I didn't put a lot of energy into the wand because it's not something itself really ever using. And I guess we didn't really kind of touch on what was the purpose of the wand. Um, does it really, I've had this talk with Jackson, my 7-year-old grandson, who is also probably a witch. He's came in since, he was very little and he likes to get the witch hats and the brooms and, he's all about, now he's discovered Harry Potter and stuff. But we have to talk about, the difference in Hollywood witchcraft and real witchcraft.
Yeah,
And so,
reality and fantasy.
right. A real witch's wand is nothing like the Hollywood, doesn't send sparks and cast
Right.
people into frogs and all that. It is just to direct, it's an extension of your hand. It's, to
It's to
direct
direct the
power.
energy.
Yeah, to direct
And
energy.
a quick side note, that is actually, if you don't want to work with a wand, I have seen that a lot of practitioners use some use a wand, and but some choose to use an athame to direct their
Right,
energy in
right.
place of a wand. And this is my
Yeah.
athame, by the way.
Yeah, and like Jesse
She's
said, Jackson has
pretty.
3 wands himself. Oh no, I'll have to show my Athame too. So
My husband actually bought her for me, and I adore her.
mine is not as pretty and fancy as Jess's. It's just kind of basic, but
Shoot.
that's my
Before he
Athame.
bought me this one, I was using one of his hunting knives that he had never used.
So, let's talk about Athames and, their purpose. So, like Jess
Yeah.
said, these can be used to direct power. They also, I use mine, of course, this would never be used for actual cutting, but I will use it to carve in the candles.
Yes.
My sigils or um, that's the main purpose of my athame is I use mine to carve um
And I
into
actually
candles with
really
it because
I
I do
use
a lot of
mine
candle magic.
I use mine for directing energy simply because it is too large to try using for carving. I have something else that I use for carving, um, candles, but I really wanna get a nice smaller one to have extra for
I
specifically that.
I really want to get me a nice crescent moon bowline. I've seen one of my
Yes.
friends on Facebook posted one. Somebody gifted them one, and it was beautiful. Oh, I gotta find me one. So that because this year when we do herbs and stuff, I'll actually be using a sacred knife to cut. So a bowline is usually all. If you don't know, it's
I'm
a
gonna
like a
pull a picture
crescent.
up real quick.
Okay, it's a yeah. Jessica to show us. So that would be like you're cutting when you were going out to cut sacred herbs or whatever for your cooking or whatever. Yes, Jesse, I would say that you were a green witch. Um, Absolutely. And I have a book if you're interested. I do have a book over here for you to read if you're interested. You can look at it. It's all about plants and all that good stuff.
And if you
So,
prefer to read ebooks, I have a plethora
oh,
of
so yeah, when
copies
she
of
gets her
ebooks
new
that I can
iPad,
send.
I know that she's looking to
Um,
get an iPad too, so that'd be good. She can read on her iPad at night. So, um,
yeah. Okay, I was trying to save the picture and it wouldn't save, so I had to pull another one up. Here we go. Here it is. Okay. Save,
uh,
save.
so,
Here we go.
and y'all in our audience, that are watching, so, do y'all have any? We're about 10 minutes away from shutdown time here. Do y'all have any questions about any tools or any
And I think
comments
we'll
or,
probably
you know,
continue the tools the next time just because there's a lot
yeah,
to cover.
we are doing this, witch series. Y'all ask for it, so we're going to give it to you. And, again, we're going to remind you that this is, our what we do. It may not even be what we do. We, we're just sharing things with you that we've learned or that we've researched or we've just read about. But, we're
Or
just,
been taught.
or been taught.
And this is
Um,
a bow line here on the screen. It's the one to
the
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 right.
hook shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm trying to point to him, like
I don't know why it cut the picture off weirdly, but it did.
Well, so yeah, the bowl line is the one that's the crescent moon shaped, and you would use that one to cut your herbs, and yeah, um, I you look around at your metaphysical shop, Sam, yeah, of
Yes.
course, Amazon, freaking. But if you Google bowline, you can, and it's spelled Boline. If anyone
Mhm.
needs to know, um, you can, and I think even if you like Google maybe witch tools or witch knives, things like that, you'll find the ones that are really cool like that with the crescent moon and all that stuff on them. And
And
Jesse is
before
saying,
we do end, I did want to, because I had one tool I really wanted to show. And you know what? I'm going to save it for the one liner at the end. Go ahead.
okay, so we did kind of
Oh,
get off
wait.
the
What?
subject. Yeah, when we got off the subject of the witch's broom, so I'm going to touch back on that really quick, y'all. So Jess kind of thought it was a myth,
Oh,
and
gosh.
so it really is not a myth.
Well,
The
more
There's a couple
fascinating
of reasons.
tidbit of history.
Yeah, it's a fascinating tidbit of history. So there's a couple of reasons why we have the term of witches flying on brooms. So now think back, back way, way, way back when, they were living in stick houses, and if they had a broom or if they had, they didn't have tons of tools, and let's just say pleasurable items, intimate, pleasurable items. So your brooms, things served as multi-purpose items. So things were made, gels and ointments and stuff, and some of these things were discovered if you put them in certain places in the female anatomy that they would go through your bloodstream quicker and work better, and these ointments and gels and stuff would maybe cause a feeling of flying. So that's the term of flying on brooms, where that came from. So, and then there's another, have you ever heard, the heathens jumping over the moon, flying their brooms? So at harvest times, but of course, this is way, way back when, the pagans, the heathens, the country folks, the farmers, the people that were growing the food would do ritual, and it would be something like the jumping of the broom ceremonies. They would jump their gardening tools. Remember, they didn't have tractors and all that crap back then. They would jump their gardening tools out in their crops as a way of blessing them to make them grow or to have a happy harvest. So, they would do these things in the full moon in the spring, and and then thankful for the harvest. So that's kind of where these terms actually came from, the flying on the broom.
Hmm. Hmm. I
Excuse
do
me,
want to
y'all.
ask real quick. Does somebody come on after us?
I don't think so. No, I think we're the last show on Thursday
Okay.
night. So I think we could run over a couple of minutes if we needed
Okay.
to.
So
I
that,
know that if they will kick us.
yeah,
And
we
we
won't
are
go a whole
y'all back
extra
on.
hour.
We are back on our own YouTube.
Well, a
We're gonna
different
thank
one.
things as always for. Yeah, we have, but we did kick up our YouTube. We're back on a Spirit YouTube, so y'all please go like and follow that YouTube as well, and try to help keep us up that we're good and we're not evil witches sacrificing people online and shit, whatever they thought we were doing.
We try to save
um,
sacrifice for
well,
Sundays.
yeah, we're gonna and I guess well we did say we'd run a few minutes over, but so I'm gonna jump back on the term witchcraft. I just kind of want to cover all of
Oh
our
yes,
bases
please
and
do.
wrap things up nice and neat and a nice neat little package tonight. So we will talk more about tools next Thursday.
Including,
But we'll do,
well, no.
we'll
Uh, you tell them about Sunday's show, and then I have something to add with
well,
about
yeah, that's
Sunday's
what I
show
was gonna
too.
say. Yeah, yeah, right. Of course, next Thursday we will follow up with tools, but
Hmm.
Sunday night, for those of you that didn't watch, we actually did for the first time, live spells. Sunday night we did a healing spell, like my mom was out of the hospital. I hoped everybody that joined us that night and wanted their energy healed as well, or whatever they requested. I hope everything went well for them also.
And then I performed a
So,
cord
but that
cutting, and I
now we've
am sad to tell everyone that she did go back to him, and I'm hoping that this is going to be the time. This will be the time where that epic end is going to happen. But
well, we did kind of know by that
yeah,
cord
that she was going to go
cutting
back
that
for a while.
it's that it's yeah it's not gonna be an instant.
Yeah.
So we know that. So you know going back to the word crafting,
Yes.
crocheting, knitting, and all
We
that.
need a
So
break from doing
that's
big, exhausting rituals because both of us slept all of Monday.
all day Monday, wiped us out. So and of course, which crafting is about crafting. So Sunday night, y'all, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'll
Sunday
start. Sunday
night,
night, we're actually going to be
we are gonna
there. We go.
do
Go ahead.
actual crafts. So we will post a list of things that are optional if you want to craft with us.
Yes.
So we will be making witch bottles or witch jars, whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
And the ones that we are going to make will be for self protection.
Yes.
So, and we'll talk more about what you do with it, where you put it, and all that on Sunday night show. So, if that's something you're interested in, make sure we're going to post it on the Spirit page.
Yes, we will make.
So,
We'll
you'll
have
have
a
to go to
list.
the Spirit
We'll have a
page.
list of the kind of things that that are possible to use in there, and maybe some reference links if we feel like they're necessary. But a lot of the stuff, other than the bottles themselves, being able to either find or purchase them, a lot of the stuff you can put in there, you could go outside and find some stuff and make a really good self protection bottle without
And
buying
you
anything.
already have it.
Yeah,
And it can be, if you're gonna have spaghetti this week, save the dang jar.
yeah,
I
there you
mean,
go.
you don't have to go
Doesn't
spend
matter how
money
big or
on a jar.
small,
If you
we
empty it,
save all jars.
right, save the
Mason
jar,
jars.
and we're gonna mason jars. You can get you a big one, little one. It don't matter how big it is. And yes, Jesse, I did thank you. And she's talking about tincture bottles. Um, I do have Robin and Kate's stuff packaged. I have not sent it yet. I apologize to both of them that I've not sent it yet. This has been a really rough week.
Yes.
And to be honest, COVID is just out there. The hospital numbers in Alabama are climbing.
Yeah, I
I
talked to
just
my
really
mom
have not left
today,
the house
and
unless I'm back.
She said there are no beds at UAB. William's working at St. Vincent's right now, and there are no beds there.
Right, and well, I know that one of my witch mates is a nurse at one of our local hospitals, and she said, like Tuesday, there were 16 people waiting to be put in ICU, and they only have 12 ICU beds.
Yep.
I mean, so they have 12 beds full,
Yeah.
and that
I
was,
saw she said our positivity rate's
so
46, and I
yeah,
did see that today actually. So,
right. So I have not got out, but I'm going to get out tomorrow. Unfortunately, but I've got to feed my horse, so I've got to get horse food and stuff. So I'm going to go to the post office. If I've got to risk it and get out there, I'm going to get everything done and really just put myself out there for exposure.
yeah.
But I do wear an N95 mask and I wear a cloth mask, and I'm triple vaccinated now. And if they'd quadruple vaccinate me, and I'd take that too. Hell, give me one in the ass, on the arm, toes, wherever you want to just stick it.
Stick
Gonna
it in
keep
my
me
left
from
leg. It
dying from that.
already
But anyway,
hurts. Yeah, we actually started 5 minutes
right? We
late, so
there's
we're
no
good.
there's yeah, we started late tonight, Jesse. So and there's no one after us, so we're not like tick
And I
tick
wanted
tick.
to
We
say
gotta
that
go.
while we will be
Um,
working on the self protection jars, I will also actually I'm working on a self protection jar, but I'm also going to be working on witches bells, which are the bells that you hang around the doorknob on any entrances to your home to ward off evil. So I will be doing that on during the stream too. So we can learn a little about that as well.
right. So again, yeah, what up? Jess and I, when we go off live tonight, I will make this guarantee. Her and I will sit down, we will put our list together, and then I will post it before I go to bed tonight on. So if you want to craft with us, if you want to do both or one or none, is fine. If but Sunday night at midnight, right here on the Things Network, on the Spirit channel, and on our Spirit page, we will be actual witchcrafting.
So that will be fun. That will be fun. I did. Did we have anything else we wanted to wrap up? I think we were good. We already said our thank yous, and we went over Thursday and Sunday.
And we hear Jeremy on our Things
Yes.
founder is doing so much better, and he's joining podcast or vodcast, whatever we call them. So we're so thankful for that, and we continue to send healing energy and love to him and all of our Things Network brothers and sisters. We're so grateful to be here and grateful to be back on YouTube on our own channel.
Yes. And
And I
Jesse,
will
if you
say,
were if you were saying you were going to come to my house Sunday, you're absolutely welcome to come by. I have plenty of extras, and we can make witches bells.
so, but Jesse, you will have to go live on camera because people have requested that. So that would be, like special broadcast. Our special guest will be Jesse Wilson crafting.
And you know
So,
what? If we feel like it, apparently on Sundays we can just go till 2 a.m.
yeah, yeah. And I see that like Jeremy even uploaded that on the Things Network today. He uploaded that show.
So apparently we were good.
So thank you,
Um,
Jeremy. Thank you.
well,
Thank
I
you.
guess we will wrap it up. I guess I'll. Do we have anything else, or should we go with the one-liner?
Um, thank everybody for being here and loving us and supporting us, and we hope y'all enjoyed the show. Keep giving us the feedback if this is what you like, this is what you want from us, and we want to see y'all Sunday night. Let's craft together.
And we will also learn about brooms and flying ointment on Sunday night because it's a dirty topic. We'll discuss that while we craft. Oh,
Right.
so I don't use a broom in my craft, but I do have a broom. So I have decided that I practice the wall Martian practice, and this is my broom. I just wanted everyone to see it.